All right, let's talk about Urban Legend's Final Cut. Because no horror movie has ever used final in the title and then made sequels after that. I mean, seriously, they just need to stop. I say this every time I review a freaking horror movie that has final in the title and a sequel after it. But it's absolutely absurd. So, this one started off and it was okay. It was kind of like, all right, here we go. But this has the exact same issue as the first film. So if you want my thoughts on this one, you can kind of go back and rewatch the other one. There's no exploration of any fucking characters in this damn thing to make me not only care about, but to start pondering who could be the killer and why I care and what would be their motives and all that stuff. Like, just making someone the killer at the end and then attaching a motive to them and just giving them some kind of background and tying it very loosely to the events of the film is not good writing. It's not good filmmaking. It's just lazy shit to me. And there's so much stuff in here that is like recycled nonsense that I see in so much shit. The biggest one in the film, and I'm going to bring this up even though it happens at the end, but I'm going to fucking bring it up right now because if I see it again, I'm not going to do anything but bitch about it. Let's be realistic here. What else the fuck can I do? But the whole fighting over a gun, the two people are close together, chest to chest, the gun goes off, everyone goes, the audience, the people in the room, the people who are fucking fighting over the gun, and then a long pause, waiting for them to drop to the ground to see which one of them caught the bullet. Fuck off with that. Fuck off with that. Can we stop with that? I mean, how many times have you personally seen that? Have you personally seen that? I'm not saying I've seen more movies than you, but I've seen a fuckload. More than likely, I've seen more movies than most people who are watching these videos. I've seen more movies than most people ever, okay? And I can tell you my personal experience, I've seen that, no exaggeration, 75 to 100 times. It is one of the most commonly used fucking things in film. And seeing it frustrates me every time. How does anyone think that that's tense anymore? It might be. It might be. Yet again, I'll be that fucking asshole who sits here and is like, I can't take it. There's so many things that are reused and recycled in movies. And people will argue. I've seen it in my comments below when I was talking about that whole thing that everyone does in their movies where they're like, you know, the character says something like, you'll never get me to do that. I'm never going to do that. 100%. You'll never get me to do that. Hard cut. They're doing that thing. And everyone in the audience, ha 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 ha. It's so funny. And it's like, how can we think the same joke is funny every fucking time? But they'll say in my comments below, dude, like, there's a reason they use those jokes. Because they work. Because they work every time, and you can't, you know, get down on people for that. And it's like, I'm not trying to get down on people. I'm getting down on writers. I don't care what the fucking audience is doing. I care what the writers are doing. And this movie is not good, in my opinion. Of course, this is my opinion. I saw somebody in my last video say that they really liked this one. Awesome. I'm glad that you liked it. I'm not being a snarky cunt. I swear. If you like this movie, fantastic. But watching this movie, it is just uninspired, fucking recycled nonsense. I just, it frustrates me, man. It frustrates me. That's all. So the character Reese makes a return here. It's really the only connection to the first film, but until the very, very end when Rebecca Gayhart's character comes back to take the killer, played by Ellis from Die Hard. Big Die Hard fans in here? Fuck, I love Die Hard. And Ellis. Oh man, I love that motherfucking coked out lunatic. But she's wheeling him away at the end to the Hitchcock music, because there's a lot of Hitchcock references in here. They're trying to win the Hitchcock Award and all this. So these are filmmakers, and they're making film about urban legend killers and whatnot. She gets the idea from Reese, which I thought was kind of cool. Little tie back to the original, and gives kind of a reason of why this would all be going down. But almost none of the kills in this film really apply much to urban legends, like that I'm aware of. The guy getting beat to death with his own camera in an alleyway. There's a scene in this movie that made me actually like out loud angry. I was watching this with Jen, and I was like, wait, did that fucking just happen? And I got really frustrated. And what happened is the main chick here, played by Jennifer Morrison from House, she goes down into the sewers, right? And Reese, the security guard from the first one, she's running down this hallway, or well, this little corridor or whatever that's like in the sewers, the tunnels, whatever. And she runs into Reese, and she's like, "What the hell? Like, whatever." And Reese is like, hey, she's like, "How the hell did you know I was here?" And she points at this camera that's at the end of, or is it the beginning or the end? It doesn't matter, honestly. It's a very short little corridor. It's maybe fucking 100 yards. And she has a camera up there, and she's like, "I do watch these, you know." So this chick is being chased all over fucking campus, all around the area. This chick doesn't see any of that. None of that. But in the 15 seconds of her running from one end of that corridor to the other end, that security guard, who is an overweight woman, by the way, she fucking sees her on there and then gets up instantly and runs as fast as she can over there. She's not out of breath when she gets there, by the way. And she sees her, and she's like, "Oh, I saw you on the camera. You saw me on the camera. You saw me on the fucking camera. Your place is across the way." Because when they go to wherever she has the cameras, it's on a different side. Like, from what I could tell, it was far away. It definitely was not close to where she was. And to those sewer tunnels, she got there in 10 seconds, 15 seconds. What was it, right outside her door? The fuck out of here. That scene, like, really legitimately angered me. Like, who the fuck wrote this? That is just a blatant disregard for any form of logic. And it's like you're fucking, I don't know, it's like you're shitting on the audience. It's like you're insulting our intelligence for us to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, totally. Totally, she saw her on the camera." I know I'm bitching. I know I'm nitpicking. That's not usually like me. I'm sure whoever would be annoyed by this has already shut it off, disliked the video, and will leave some shitty comment. Fine. I don't care. But fuck that. Okay? I know, it's so stupid, but it is so stupid. That's what's frustrating about it. Somebody else has told me that they love when I get angry at films like this, so here you go. Fuck. So we get Anson Mount in here, who from Hell on Wheels and whatnot. Man, he was a goofy looking young guy, but he is one handsome motherfucker now. Dudes age much better. Like, they look so much better when they get older. And, it's funny to me because chicks are like exactly the opposite. Not all of them. Some age really, really well, but a lot of them are like, in their best, in prime, I suppose, when they're younger, and guys are the flip of that. And just watching Eva Mendes, who's still beautiful, but she is in this, and some other familiar ladies. I was like, wow, you look so fucking fantastic right now. And this guy looks like a total geek. And then, boom, you fast forward 20 years. This movie is about 20 years old. Anyways, I'm not going to get too into that. I just saw him in this and was like, oh my god, that dude turns into that fucking sexy ass cowboy dude from Hell on Wheels later. Jesus Christ, what the hell? We get this one chick who gets her kidneys cut out. That's like probably the best scene of this whole film. Is this girl? She gets her kidneys cut out. Reminded me of Adam in Saw. You wake up and your kidneys are on eBay. But yeah, she goes and she gets up, and Dr. Gordon, I guess, wasn't consulted here because she isn't in complete agony or dead. She is running around, and then as I said, the best scene of the whole fucking movie, by far for me, is she's trying to sneak out the window. The killer comes after her, grabs into her incision, pulls back inside of her incision here, which is just gnarly. And she pulls her back. She's holding onto barbed wire with her hands. The freaking window breaks above her. He pulls her back far enough to where her neck's here, and he just straight up decapitates her with the glass, which is of course ridiculous and would never ever 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 work. But regardless, it doesn't matter, of course. It's very giallo style, and just brings it down, chops her head off. So like the kidney's being taken out, and then she like takes the kidney and like feeds it to a dog right there. That scene is great. That one single scene. The rest of this is either subpar or outright awful. The one thing I did remember from this was the "fuck George Lucas" line from the Geeks, and then he's like, "You're going to hell, man." He's like, "I know." I love that line. This was right after the Phantom Menace, and a lot of people were not happy with the direction that he took with all the CGI. CGI was not the Phantom Menace's problem. Let me tell you something. And then, yeah, the real kill being filmed and then thrown up on the screen. That was weird because it was so poorly filmed. Which I actually think kind of makes sense, because at the end she says it's like cinema verite or whatever, and then she's like, it was out of focus and whatever. And he couldn't get by as a director. She was, her closing line in this, her "smile, you son of a bitch" line is like, what they say is like, if you can't do, you teach, or whatever. Which is a pretty good line. And as I said, the fact that he sucks at filming, and that the footage that he shows sucks, makes sense, makes perfect sense. But I thought it would be kind of a cool way to show this kill go down, but you can't see anything. It's like found footage style, which is exactly what it would be. But for a guy that's supposed to be good at filmmaking, he sure as fuck sucks at it. Although, I guess trying to kill someone while operating a camera would be pretty damn difficult to get the shot right. And I guess you only really get one take. The whole thing where this guy ends up being a twin of his brother, and they set that all up, and it's like, is that going to play into this at any point? No, not really. It just really is his identical twin brother. It's that convenient. Oh my god, the funniest fucking thing though. I forgot to mention there's a lot of egos on set. Yeah, that's realistic at least. But there are two characters in this, the special effects guys. Their names are Dirk and Stan. Dirk and Stan. Every time they would say it in that order, and it would immediately, I'm sure you already know if you know what I'm about to reference, but I would immediately be taken to Team America World Police. Every time they said it, I was laughing out loud. It was just like, Dirkistan? Oh my god. Dirkistan. This is hilarious. Fucking, I thought at any moment someone was going to be like, he made it right on Bakalakadaka Street. Oh, so damn good. Dirkistan. Holy shit. And the fact that this guy offs everyone who worked on the film so that he could steal it and stamp it and put it as his own, and that he went and cut a terrible film and put the guy's thing on it, and then he had a C+, which made him all depressed, and then he went and killed him to make it look like a suicide, and then went around and killed everyone who worked on the film, and then went and grabbed it. I like that. I just wish that we would have explored his character more. and his motives more, and just made it have more of an impact when you find out it's this guy. It's like, oh my god, not him. He was so nice to everyone. He was so great. He was, such a influential part of her career and what. Like, no, there was no betrayal. There was no anything. It wasn't an emotional punch. It wasn't anything. It was just like, oh, that guy. Like, the only reason I recognize him at all is because it's Ellis from fucking Die Hard. Otherwise, I'd have been like, who's that again? Isn't that the teacher guy? So if it was just a different actor, I'd be like, wait, that's the guy who was the PA, or was that the guy that was the producer, or was that the guy that was the DOP, or I can't remember. Who's that again? Like, it has no punch at all. The gold-plated gun, the foreshadowing of it in the beginning, and then all that, when the guns drop, you're like, oh, here we go. And it's cute, but at the same time, it's just like, did anyone think that was going to go any other way? And then they do the fucking fake out, like, gun to the chest. Who's it? Who is it? Who is it? Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, alright guys, I gotta go to bed. I'm done with this damn movie. Blast me below if this is like an iconic film of your childhood and I've ruined it forever. Good night.